Welcome to the Podcast Lab, your go-to space for raw conversations, curious questions, and inspiring stories from around the world. Whether you're here to learn, laugh, or just listen in, this is where ideas take shape and voices come alive. Ready to dive into fresh perspectives and thought-provoking discussions? Let's get started. This is the Podcast Lab. Subscribe now and never miss an episode.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving into some pretty deep waters today, getting into the ethics of AI. You know, it's interesting because this topic has just exploded recently.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, you sent us some really fascinating sources on things like bias in AI, privacy concerns, and, of course, the whole question of accountability.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's clear that, you know, you're thinking about this stuff in a big way.
Right.
So we're going to try to unpack some of these issues today, and hopefully we can uncover a few insights that you might not have expected. Now, to help us navigate this pretty complex landscape, we've got our expert here today.
Happy to be here.
So let me just jump right in and ask you, what is it about AI that makes the whole ethics thing so tricky?
One of the big things is that, AI systems are essentially learning machines.
Right.
They learn from the data they are fed. And if that data reflects, existing societal patterns or imbalances,
Okay.
the AI can kind of unintentionally perpetuate those patterns in its decisions. Oh, interesting.
Which can lead to some, pretty unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, you don't really know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's more, understanding exactly how an AI system reaches a conclusion can be incredibly difficult.
Oh, I see.
This is often referred to as, the black box problem. Makes it really challenging to figure out where, say, biases might be creeping in, or even to fully understand, the consequences of the AI's decisions.
So it's not just, the classic sci-fi thing about robots taking over the world.
Right.
It's more about these sort of subtle ways that AI can influence our lives.
Absolutely.
And, not always for the better. And you've mentioned these real world examples of AI bias. Could you, just share a couple specific cases just to illustrate how real this actually is?
Of course. Well, let's take the example of, loan applications.
Oh.
A lot of financial institutions these days are using AI to assess creditworthiness.
But these algorithms, they can sort of inadvertently lead to, I guess you could call it a modern form of redlining.
Oh.
For instance, if the historical data used to train the AI, shows that people in certain zip codes have lower loan repayment rates, the AI might unfairly deny loans to applicants from those areas.
Oh, I see.
Even if they, individually are perfectly qualified.
That's scary.
It's a very subtle form of discrimination, but can have a huge impact on people's lives.
Absolutely. That's it's really unsettling to think about.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned this, the bias in social media feeds.
Right.
Can you explain a little bit more about that? How does that work?
Sure. So social media algorithms, they're designed to, show you content that they think you'll find interesting. But this can create what we call filter bubbles, right?
Okay.
These are online spaces where you're mainly exposed to information that aligns with your existing beliefs.
Right.
And this can reinforce those biases without you even realizing it. For example, if you're consistently engaging with, articles about a particular political viewpoint, the algorithm might show you, more and more content that supports that view.
Oh, so you just get stuck in that.
You do, and it limits your exposure to different perspectives.
Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of brings up the whole, the relationship between AI and privacy.
Right.
It feels like AI is constantly collecting data about us. So can you talk a little bit about how AI systems collect and store and use personal information?
Sure.
And, what are the potential risks there?
Right. Well, AI's ability to learn and improve is really heavily dependent on data.
Right.
And that includes, information about, our online behavior, location data from our phones, purchase histories.
Wow.
Even sensitive data like, our health records.
It's kind of creepy when you think about it.
It can be. It can be. And AI systems can analyze this information to, personalize experiences, make recommendations, even predict our future actions. But this, of course, raises concerns about, data breaches, potential misuse by, companies or governments, and a broader erosion of our privacy rights.
I'm just curious, are there any ways AI is being used that we might not even be aware of?
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it comes to privacy.
Absolutely. I mean, think about facial recognition technology,
Sure.
right? It's being used in a lot of public spaces now
Right.
for, ostensibly for security purposes, but it has the potential to be used for surveillance and tracking individuals without their knowledge or consent.
Yeah.
So, imagine a world where, every move in public is recorded and analyzed.
Yeah, like Big Brother.
Exactly. That's the kind of future we need to be, thinking very carefully about.
It's a scary thought, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got these, bias algorithms and privacy concerns.
Right.
It's clear that, AI's ability to make decisions raises a huge question, the question of accountability.
Yeah.
So if an AI system makes a mistake or causes harm, who's responsible?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
Is it the developers who created it, the companies who are using it, or
Yeah.
even the AI itself?
Right. And right now there really isn't a straightforward answer. The legal and ethical frameworks around AI accountability are still very much being developed.
So we're kind of making it up as we go along.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of different viewpoints on how to approach this. Some advocate for strict liability model, where the developers are always held responsible.
Regardless of
intent.
Okay.
Others favor, more of a negligence-based approach.
Okay.
Where responsibility is determined by whether reasonable care was taken in developing and deploying the AI. I see.
And then there's the people who think we just need entirely new legal frameworks.
Okay.
To deal with the unique challenges posed by AI.
So we're really in uncharted territory here.
Absolutely.
Figuring things out as we go along.
We are.
But, I think what's really important is that, we're having these conversations.
Yes.
Asking tough questions, demanding more transparency.
Absolutely.
And accountability from, the folks who are developing and deploying these systems.
Couldn't agree more. The ethical implications of AI, they're not just abstract ideas. They have very real consequences for all of us.
Absolutely.
So it's so crucial that we stay informed, engage in these discussions, and really push for responsible AI development, AI development that benefits humanity.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to end on. We've obviously only just scratch the surface of this.
Yeah, it's a huge topic.
It's such a complex, rapidly evolving field. But hopefully, this little deep dive has given you some new insights, maybe even more questions to ponder.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives, I think it's up to all of us to kind of shape its development and make sure that it's used ethically and responsibly. We'll be sure to include some additional resources in the episode notes if you want to, explore this topic a bit further. But until next time, keep diving deep.